And hello, already Boyanter and Zero Couch. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Shirley, and I'm here with
Spain.
Yay! And we are in
Beijing.
Yeah,
in our office.
Yes. Okay, actually, should we start from there? About the office that we're in, and about your company and what you do, and the work that we see behind us.
Sure. Cool. So right now, Shirley and I are in our company's conference room, and I think we only have a Chinese name for our company called 数可视, or we just simply put it data-viz.cn, as you can see on the screen. And we are the hybrid data studios, and we also build our own data visualization tools particularly for journalists. And I work as a data journalist here in our office, and I spend most of my time working with editors, videographer, or other kind of journalists in other newsrooms, and help them to build a multimedia or data-driven projects together.
So I'm just really, really excited to be here. And okay, let me back up a little bit and do my usual bit of saying, like, welcome to ShirleyChats. It's extremely casual. There's no preset questions, and we just have a very casual chat. And so I have I have no questions planned per se, and we're just gonna talk, and we're gonna talk about 数可视. Thank you. Oh, that's 可.
Yeah.
Okay. So I learned earlier. I think people probably have guessed by now. I'm Chinese. I'm Chinese American. I grew up mostly overseas my entire life, but my family's very, very Chinese. So they've been bringing me back to China every 2 years or so since I was 16. So I speak a little bit of Chinese. But horribly. And the reason why I'm so particularly excited to talk to you today is because I've always been curious about data visualization in my motherland. Especially because you're behind a firewall here, and you're not on Twitter. And actually, I've been wanting to ask you, how did data stories find you?
That's a good question, because they found me by one of my friends who we had never met in the real world in person. So he just I know a guy from Data Stories. He wants to find someone who can talk about data stuff in China, and I happen to know you, and I happen to know your company is constantly making works for that, and so he put me in touch with Data Stories team. So that's how I met them.
And I'm so glad that your friend did that, and I'm so glad that Moritz and Enrico wanted that, because they did the way that we connected was because I heard their episode that was the 2017 data visualization around the world or something episode, and you were the very first one on there. You were talking about data visualization in China, and they only have maybe 10 minutes for you, maybe 5 to 10 minutes for you, because then they jump to 6 other cities,
Philippines and other cities.
Yeah, it was intense. It was a great episode. But then I was like, holy crap, it's happening in China. I didn't know. And I remember I was talking to one of my friends that was talking about data visualization, and I think he had met somebody in Shanghai, and he's like, we just don't know what's happening in China, because not that many people in China are on Twitter, and we're not really on WeChat.
Yeah. So I would say the data viz scene in China is kind of very vibrant. Normally, because I think I started making my data viz stuff in the States, but I was surprised when I moved to China, because they have their own data visualization library, such as eCharts.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Is it
eCharts?
eCharts?
Yeah. So I think it's version 3 or something. So it's quite a long time.
Is it
eChart, and this one eCharts
by
Do.
Oh yeah. You mentioned that in the
eChart is probably the first not the first, like the most popular one, and it's from Baidu's team, and the maintain. I think it's not the latest version, but version 3.3, 3.0.
Wow.
So I think because we use VPN, it takes a while. Okay.
We're behind a VPN right now, or we're going through a VPN right now.
So usually, if you without VPN, it's like faster, and the other.
Yeah, sorry, I noticed that in China that like any Chinese service I use is really, really slow behind a VPN.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And the other one, this one is the most, probably the oldest or the most popular one from Baidu. And this one, G2. And this is the one that's released last year. And they have cool too. Let me see. Where's it from page?
Oh, this is Alipay.
Yeah, from Ali.
Oh, that's awesome. I think maybe
I didn't mention this on data stories.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think this is the two major players in terms of libraries, like originally from China. People before NV, I think before G2, most people use eChart and also I think D3. And those other libraries too. But like this one is like original from China, so most of the documentation is in Chinese. And they can do a bunch of like stuff, but
I think you mentioned this really briefly on data stories. I think maybe you mentioned G2.
Yeah.
And they asked you why. I think they asked you why.
I think I know, like Chinese friendly.
Yeah, and you said that it was because it was Chinese friendly. And one of the biggest reasons is the documentation. But is there other reasons that make it Chinese friendly?
I don't think so. Like currently, I feel like it's just like a new library. But they make it relatively easy to use it.
So actually, would you compare this to D3, or because it looks more like it looks more like a charting library that's been built on top.
Yeah. So I'll probably say it's like not like D3 or probably like 12E. So. Because, like, personally, I haven't given it a try, so I don't want to, like, say what it is or what it is not. But it's probably similar to that one. I just played around. I didn't make a real work out of it. So, probably if you want to, like, take a look at what Chinese data-viz community is, hype of Chinese data-viz scene, this is one of the stuff. And eChart and G2, they're rival, I guess.
They're rivals.
Baidu and also Ali.
Oh yeah, and that's really interesting too. That they're open source by these gigantic companies, right? Whereas like if you look at I mean certainly in America there's things like React that's Facebook, but like most open source libraries are community run.
Yeah. So I actually have no idea why they want to open source it. Because, like, I don't know, like, they have, like, a full team to, like, dedicate to making G2, to perfect G2. But I don't know what are the intention to, like, release it, open source it.
Like, what their goals are to... Yeah. Oh, and there's an editor, too, here, so that you can...
You can just like change the variable and change the data.
Oh, wow. So it's quite high level actually, because if I look at this code, it's basically saying like, this is my data set. Wait, actually no. Create my data set, and then it seems like maybe these are some more things. Oh, so this is telling it like what the data source is and how to transform the chart, and then I'm guessing it's quite because it's instead because like I'm most familiar with D3, which is like you literally have to be like make this SVG element, make this SVG element, or draw this to canvas. Whereas this is like create this chart and make this legend or this tooltip, but then like also draw this polygon, which I wonder if this is it this? Can I comment it out?
Or just delete it.
I think maybe there was a render in there that you deleted. Yeah. Maybe just that one.
Comment it? No.
No.
Just delete it.
Okay.
So.
Did it break?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Yeah. But you're absolutely right that it's a little bit more high level, something like Plotly or another charting library. And then I'm guessing eCharts is also very similar in the functionality.
Yeah.
Wow. But so your title is data journalist, and what you just described a little bit of before you described a little bit of what your company does, but does that mean as data journalists you don't touch the code as much, right?
Really depends on the projects, and so what the project needs to be like, what kind of stuff we need to make for the project, and how much time do I have for the project. So usually the link I share with you that works. Some of them I actually write a front-end code for that one, and design interactivity stuff. But like some of the projects I only do the data analysis and also design of data-viz. But like actually front-end code, the graphics, is made by my colleague, another front-end full-time like full-stack engineer who is not in Beijing right now. So it's usually a collaboration work, because like whenever we make work for the newsrooms, usually on a relatively tight deadline.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for me to like, okay, I will spend like a month or something doing data cleaning and data analysis and design stuff, and still like have the energy to continue my work to make
do the code.
Yeah, do the code or do a front end coding. So usually I'll cooperate with him to make our like overall process faster. Yeah. So, but we sometimes we often miss a deadline, but I try to like figure it out.
Sometimes I do too. So wait, actually, what you said just now is also really interesting. So you're not data-viz.cn, or I guess it also says data work. You're a studio, and you're not a newsroom. You're a studio, and you work with other newsrooms. Because some of the I don't think. Project Showcase. Some of the links that you sent me. Yes. So you sent me this one. And then this one it says news.qq. Does QQ have a newsroom? Or
they do have a newsroom. It's called News Tension Xinwen, so it's like QQ News. So we collaborate, because Tension Xinwen and the QQ News is like, I don't know how many people do we have, like a floor.
A gigantic floor.
A gigantic flow of people, but we only work with mostly 10 team. It's called Guyu Lab. Guyu. This one? This one.
So Valley Rain?
Yeah, Valley Rain. It's I don't know how to say that. 节气.
How would you describe that?
I would say like it's usually in Chinese calendar, there's like 24  节气. 节气meaning that what will weather, or mostly what it's about weather. What will that's that period of time. What will the weather be like? Like Guyu meaning that it'll be like rain or something around that time. So yeah, Guyu. They use a random name for it.
Oh, so it has nothing to do with like what they do.
Okay. No, I think they're just like, this is cool. We'll just pick it.
Okay. Oh yeah, and then for a little bit of background, we've been like tossing around a lot of like just Chinese company names. But like for example, Baidu, yeah, like we never explained what each of these companies are. Baidu is, I don't actually know if it still is, but like I remember like in the mid 2000s or so, it was like the Chinese equivalent of Google. Like I've heard of Baidu, I've heard of like Sohu, and
usually like if you want to get to know the tech companies in China, we'll start with the 3 words. It's called BAT.
BAT.
B stands for Baidu, A stands for Alibaba, T stands for Tencent.
Okay.
So there are like 3 gigantic companies in China who covers basically everything around your daily life. Like either they have their own services or they invest in the startups or invest on other companies to make the apps that's on my phone. So Baidu is like the main services of Baidu is like just search engine. And Tencent, I think their startup product is WeChat.
Oh, so Tencent owns WeChat.
Yeah, Tencent owns WeChat.
WeChat is like gigantic.
Yeah, gigantic.
I remember Tencent QQ from like mid 2000s when it was just like a messaging app, and I remember I used to like play games with other people.
Games are they're like money machine right now for Tencent too.
The games?
Yeah, games. Like I don't know. A hell lot of people make Tencent games in Guangzhou or something. And what else? Oh, and Alibaba like Taobao.
Yeah.
Taobao. The main app is Taobao and also Alipay. And also what we see here, Ant.V. This one. It's like Ant Financial.
Oh. So we actually have that right there because this is Baidu and this is Alibaba.
Yeah.
And Taobao is the Chinese equivalent of eBay.
eBay, but like way complex, more complex, I guess.
And then Alipay is like a Google Wallet, Apple Wallet.
Yeah, but way more popular than that.
They're not very well used, but like in China, like I've like my mom was so excited this trip because she's like I've set up my WeChat to like be able to pay, and so like they just scan a QR code and she pays with her bank account.
Everything is about QR code.
Yeah.
I actually don't have to bring my wallet with me. I don't bring my phone. I either use like Alipay or WeChat Pay for like street food to convenience store to everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
This has like stopped being as much about data visualization and just about my fascination with China's technology, which is also really fun. Yeah, and also I just want to mention in here to like ask any questions, ask any sort of questions about China and data visualization. But yeah, so we have this is Alibaba, and then this is Tencent. Tencent owns QQ, right?
Tencent owns QQ,
right?
Yeah, QQ. Oh yeah, QQ is another messaging app, messaging/community they have.
Okay.
QQ.
And then QQ has a newsroom. So this whole tangent was to say that you work with newsrooms.
Yeah, I work with newsrooms.
And QQ News is one of the newsrooms. And then this is, we actually should talk about this, which is that that this is designed for mobile. So let me say, because right here it says to use your mobile.
Yeah. So one like very special thing about China, China's, I don't know, China's internet like situation right now we have is like everything is mobile only. or mobile first. I would say mobile only because like when we talk about what should we make for how many versions do we have to make for this page, they say like just if it could just work perfectly on mobile and that'll be fine. I said really because like most of their readers like for like 90% of the readers are mobile users and 10% of their readers are on desktop. So they'll just totally give up the desktop version
the 10%.
of it. So you see, like, for me it's crazy. Like you see when you open up link on desktop, it'll be like the cover says like you need to use cell phone in order to see my work.
Yeah, I mean like if you saw it just now, it was like I couldn't even actually. I don't think I was able to.
Like have to scan the QR code. See that? Like
yeah. Because there's first of all, again, my Chinese is really bad, so like I could barely make out like mobile and experience
better.
Yeah,
that's what it means. Like.
I didn't even know that I was supposed to scan this QR code.
But like, this is very intuitive. Like every Chinese reader see this, they will just pick up their phone and just like scan the QR code in order to read it. It's like
that's
very
amazing
common scenario in their daily life.
And that's I think that was the first thing that was the first thing that I was really surprised about when I started emailing you and I asked you for some works and you were like, please read these on mobile, and I was like, what? And that and then when I went to mobile, like it actually so this is the experience. And then actually, so I don't think there's also the English version that I wanted to pull up.
Data-viz.cn.
And hello near this, or no. Hey, hello near this, who says, I like the TikTok too, and mobile is easier to roll out than getting fiber to every door. That's true. Hello, the tribe. Oh, hey, Hugo. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
So I made this with my colleague, Jiang Wu, and she's now actually work for the other company, but we were classmates back to Colombia.
Oh,
so
okay.
She's also the one who introduced me, landed me on this job too. Oh. So this is about a little bit of background. This is about the Shui Fund in Beijing. Shui Fund meaning school district housing. So we were like curious about how the elite schools have the influences on the housing price. So we come up with this idea like let's just make a map because like we want to see where are the elite schools are, but like we know people have no, because we don't want to jump right into the tell them where are the elite school, but because Beijing is quite large, like I don't know compared to what, because if you travel from the very north of Beijing to the very south of Beijing, it'll take you like 3 hours or 3 hour drive or something.
Well, I feel like that's also partially because everybody drives really, really slow and there's just traffic everywhere. But
yeah. So,
but it is huge. Sorry.
It's huge too. So, but I think, but the Tianjin where you live, it's not actually northeast. It's like it's even farther.
Because there's the 6th ring now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because we want to narrow it down to these 3 districts, called Haidian, Xichen, and Dongchen, where the competition is fierce for the elite school. There's 3 districts, so and then we map the average housing price onto the map to show where are the highest area. Right here, you can see it.
I read this last night.
Thank you. And because like we can only map like around 60% of the housing price to the neighborhood. So, but it's kind of hard for you to
see the patterns.
So we come up with that idea just to make it like.
I love the hex bidding.
Thank
I think
you.
it just makes it so much easier to get the information out of.
Yeah. But we want to like reveal it layer by layer, so you can sort of follow us and not jump into this hexagonal view right away, because like this is kind of abstract.
Oh, so I think I remember seeing, so you said it was you and your colleague Jia Chen, and so you two did the kind of the design direction for this as well.
What do we do? She made the maps, and I made the scrolling stuff, and we also do the reporting on this, and she scraped the data from the real estate website, and I analyze it too. So it's like kind of collaboration work.
I think the reason why I asked about the design is because, just like you said, I love the fact that you're slowly revealing, so that so this is probably a good question to ask, which is how familiar are Chinese people with data visualization? So, like in America, we get taught bar charts and pie charts in like high school or something like that, and so like at least that much we can read. Is that similar in China or in Taiwan where you grew up? Or?
Yeah, because I don't know what are their textbook about, but like in Taiwan, I think I was some data visualization when I was in high school, but not that much. But after in the university, because I major in English, so no data in my major. So probably at some point people are kind of familiar with the basic chart type, like bar chart, pie chart, and I think line chart too, but not scatter plot. So these are the basic, and people are familiar with it too. But map is also
is very intuitively like, and I ask this only because like in America where I work, we can have visualizations that are simpler with bar charts or pie charts, and people can understand that quickly. But there's always a struggle between a little bit more sophisticated of a visualization and how quickly people might be able to understand that.
Yeah.
So I love the way that you very slowly introduce it from something that they're very familiar with. Like, I also love the detail of like you start them out on all of the some of the districts in Beijing that they might be familiar with. In this one, you've taken out all the irrelevant districts and you show them the housing prices as they like in the areas as they are. And then now you've even taken out the district names for these, and you're saying the only thing that's important is these little bins, because this will show you kind of all of the trends of the housing prices. Like that little subtlety, I really love.
Thank you.
And then also, okay. Hello, near this says I use QR codes, but I always point them to a particular Rick Astley song. Okay, and hello, Shirley. On the map, what is the area of a hex?
What is the area of a hex? You mean what is n in the hex?
Like, I think he means what's like the literal geographic size of like what does one of those hex bins represent in terms of like square meters or like I guess area.
I couldn't give you a very like specific number for that because I forget. Because it's been
Was it last year?
Yeah, it's last year. But I can tell you is like one hex you can I think make it's a little bit like not tricky. What we made for this map, like it's the average price of of one it's called like neighborhood. But for this map, for this map, we actually didn't group the price by the 小区, by the neighborhood, but by the every single listing. So that's in one hex there'll be like 5 or more than 5 listings of the house. So then we count the average price of those listings in one hex and assign the colors for the for the price.
Mm-hmm. So it's because that makes sense because obviously these little neighborhoods have their own unique little shapes and you can't quite you can't just kind of aggregate those districts into these bins. So these are just that area, but you just can't quite remember what the square meter or a square kilometer of those bins are.
Or I don't know, probably not as scientific. Or we just feel this is a right amount of hexagon. We want it on the map, so we decide we make it like this shape.
Data visualization is part science and part lots of art.
Yeah,
just it looks right.
Yeah, it looks right. And one of the difficulties of making the map is in Beijing, there's a lot of neighborhoods. Looks like a very bizarre shape. Hutong, right? Hutong is like a valley. It's not an alley.
It's like a little area. Yeah. It is like a little alley. Yeah,
it's just like a little alley, and they called it a neighborhood too. So some of if you can see, there's lines or something, very thin lines. I don't know. You need to
really zoom in.
Then zoom in to see Dongchen. There's one little line under.
I don't think we can zoom in. Okay, yeah, we can't zoom in.
So this is so that's why we decided to use a single listing for the second map, for the hexagonal map, but not use the neighborhood.
That makes sense. And then, sorry, you were building up. You were building up to this, and I love this reveal. Do you want to introduce this reveal?
Oh, sure. This one is about the red dots you see here is the elite schools. But in these 3 districts, so you can see these elite schools that around the highest price area. This one and that one. So, but some are really not like this one. Because school district is only one factor of the housing price. Subway and also the convenience of the neighborhood is other factors. But you can see there's some sort of correlation between these schools and also the price around them.
And if I am guessing right, somewhere the city center is somewhere around here, or is it somewhere around here? Because this is probably so. A little bit of a tiny geographic lesson. Beijing has a system that's like a ring system.
Do you want to show the maps?
Oh, yeah.
That'll be easier.
And while you do that, I'm going to read what Hello Near This is saying. America is a big fan of pies and bars. Yes, that's very true. Hello Near This is from Australia. Yes, the map with local area, then added the data layers is great. For the hex, because I don't know the size in kilometers of the map. Okay. Oh, I see how you worked the hex size. The geography will also affect the prices. Oh no, I think you might want to go to Google Maps.
Oh yeah.
I'm behind a VPN. Oh no, it's coming up with something. Here, I'll do this so that we'll see which one loads faster. Oh, except this isn't even China. This is where I used to live. But yeah, so we don't have to spend that long on the tangent, but Beijing is organized into, this is the center, and this is the first ring, is it?
The second ring.
This is this, oh yeah, because the first ring is the center, and then this is the second ring, the third ring, the fourth ring, and then this is the fifth ring, right? This is the fifth ring. And is this the sixth ring out here?
I don't know, outside of fifth ring, I don't know where it is.
But yeah, so obviously the closer to the first ring, the closer you are to everything. And so I'm guessing the center is somewhere around here, and this is why out here it's probably also the prices aren't as much, because you're going out to the further out rings.
Yeah.
I got distracted by that one.
Which one?
I got distracted by our little ring tangent. Yeah, so And actually, so what I want to understand with this one is this was designed with mobile first. And I'm sure it went through lots and lots of iterations. And like, how did you, like, what is your usual thought process? Because if we kind of scroll through the rest of it, you build up this really great story, and then you go into the details, and you kind of start telling us like more and more about. I think I remember reading in here about how like the housing prices are driven by the prestigious elementary schools, but then the reason why the Chen district their prices are a lot higher because not only do they have the prestigious elementary schools, but they have the prestigious middle and high schools that people get into, and those high schools guarantee like a lot of entry, or like they have really great test scores for getting into college, etc. And so, but the rest of these are very, very intuitive, like kind of, like stacked bar. I don't know what they're called. I'm really bad with names. The line charts, and can you kind of talk a little bit about the thought process behind the design of all of these visualizations through the piece?
It's like, I think for our words, I think the most important thing is like we want to convey a message through data visualization or through stories. So we're like kind of careful about like introducing non-traditional type of data visualization. So after we have the hexagonal stuff, I think like that's good enough. Like we will just like show something really simple and get to the point of the story. So, and we don't want people to spend like too much time to understand one visualization and to get distracted by that visualization and forget they're actually reading a piece of story. So we sort of minimize the role of data-viz. We just put our hero charts up very at the very beginning of our page, so people will be interested in the topic we're going to talk about in the rest of the stories. So right here, I think the structure-wise, we're just creating the charts that can support our thesis. So here we want to show like, okay, the elementary school, like elite elementary school, really plays a role when it comes to the housing price. So, but like I say, it's kind of hard to just like saying the elite school is the only factor to the housing price. But one thing that people may, one thing we can do for that one is like we can actually pick one elite school that's on the boundary, not one school, two neighborhoods which belong to two different schools. One is elite school, one is non-elite school. So, and see how the housing price of these two neighborhoods might be different, and let people just compare. So this one with the higher price, this is I think this word
Chen, I think.
Xichen, as in the Xichen. The other one is like Haidian. So it's right on the boundary of the two districts and belongs to two different schools. And we pick these two neighborhood or building. It's like they have a similar year to build. What do we call it?
Yeah, so similar year of construction of when they were built.
So that's how we make these two neighborhood comparable. And so we have one example for that one, and we want to show the other examples. Right here.
And you make the statement that they're built in the similar years, but they have a like average 15,000 RMB difference in price per square meter, which is like roughly almost 10,000 US dollars, like 9,000 US dollars maybe, which is really ridiculous to me per square meter.
And they're like so close, like across the street.
But because they're across the street and they're in different districts, people that live on this side aren't allowed to go to the elementary schools on this side. And that's what the difference is.
This will make the price hugely different, as you can see. So we usually will want to put these charts in context. So that's why we make this wiper. So you see this first, and we narrow down to these two specific neighborhoods for that. So one thing about like design data-viz on mobile is like we want to minimize their interaction that you can use on the phone. So there's no hover or like too many tooltips on our page. So we just make a swiper thing. And this is like basically two static image and a swiper. And like very simple static charts. And this one.
I really liked what you said about how you just want to keep the readers reading. That like the visualizations, and you know, this is like, I feel like this is kind of a hard like lesson to learn coming from a data visualization background, right? Of in journalism, in newspapers, data visualization is merely a supplement to tell the story, and that they shouldn't come first, and that they shouldn't be so fancy that it distracts people, or that it distracts people from the actual what the story is trying to tell. Like I feel like I learned that very recently when I worked on my last project. And I liked what you said about that in mobile especially, the visualizations that you're building, you want it to be simple. You want this interactions to be as low as possible so that they can keep scrolling and they can keep reading the story. Yeah.
That's like usually what we'll do, because like I think we have like very specific audience in mind that are like they are just here for the news. They're just here for the stories. Like it's kind of different from what we see in the data-viz community. They're coming for the link for the data visualization.
Yeah,
it's different. So like personally, I love data visualization too. But like especially when we work for the clients, they have like very specific requests. Like we want to make this to help our readers to understand what it is about. So I think this what makes it really different when you make work for the newsroom. And we still have like some other like a little bit crazier stuff. Like what I shared with you, the slow train one about the train station.
Yes, that was great. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that was like an experiment. Like we don't. Maybe we can pull that up. It's not on the page, but like, let me see if we can find it. Maybe you can read the comment.
Oh yeah. While you're doing that, I'll find this. Sorry, hello, near this. I always say Australia, and you always tell me it's New Zealand, and I never remember this. I'm sorry. And Hugo says public or private schools? Public schools, right? These are public government. Public schools. Requirement for admission are location and students' grade, or are there also huge course fees? No, these are public school that are location based, and I think you said that the lottery is location. Location plays the biggest role in the lottery for the public school. And hello near this says, oh, the more I see, the more I get the scale. WYSIWYG, what Shirley? Hello, hey, Napcats says, hey, you're back. Yes, we're back. This was awesome. So I was like 试试手气, and then I realized that it meant like try your luck.
Yeah, try your luck.
Actually, do you want to read this kind of translate it for us?
俯瞰2007个火车站的形状. It means like we're gonna give you a bird eye view of how 2207 train station in China, the evolution of these stations.
And then you said putting all of the train stations in China and drawing them as a flower.
Yeah. So which one do you want to show?
试试手气.
Okay. Oh, it says like train is coming.
So cute.
And a little bit of explanation. So let me see how old it is. Oh yeah.
Sorry, my trackpad is opposite.
That's fine. So this way, this is like a station in
Shanghai.
Shanghai Hongzhou, and we give you a little, I don't know, some
explanation. And then there's a tiny little legend up there that says, red means high speed, mid speed for yellow, and low speed for blue.
So this one is like a high-speed station in Shanghai. As you can see, it's all red. And 上海虹桥站是今天it says like Shanghai. There's a station in Shanghai. There's a newly opened train station, and this station, there's like 78 trains
per day.
Yeah, per day, and in the compared to other stations in China, it's above.
It's top.
It's on. It's on the top.
On the top in terms of the number of trains coming in.
In terms of numbers. So you scroll down and give a 2 examples of where the train can go to Chengdu and to Zhuhai.
And then the length are the approximate distance between that city and that destination.
So this is on mobile, but we have like, if you see on desktop, you couldn't see the boundary.
Actually, here. Let me put it back in here, and then you'll be able to see the mobile version. No, what? There we go.
Oh yeah. So people won't feel like it's weird. We only use this tiny space for visualization because it's on mobile.
Oh, it's gonna be. Is it gonna be a different?
So yeah.
Oh, Xi'an. It's okay. You don't have to translate the text for us, but approximately, yeah. So now this one is. Oh, and it says 2007.
Yeah, because it's like some of the train stations are like newly opened. Some have like more than 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So Xi'an is the one. It's also on the list of 2007 and on our list of 2017.
I see. So a lot of this one is mid or low speed.
Yeah. Let me see.
There we go. Yeah, most of them. Wow, is I guess because it's an older station.
Yeah, it's an older station, and because like recently they've built some station particularly for high speed railway. So like the one we will see, the Shanghai Hongqiao. So kind of walk you through what happened in this station, what kind of train would pass by each day.
Are these texts like? Did you write these texts for each of the 2,000 stations, or are they a little bit more auto-generated?
These texts it's auto-generated because like we will pick. Let me see. We try to pick different direction. Like, where is it? Is it working?
It works well on my phone.
Yeah.
It might not as much on.
Oh, right here. So we will try to like give you a little bit sense of where Xi'an Zhan is. It's right in the middle, but it's like in the west north of China. So you can see relative to Shanghai, where Xi'an is and where Guitun to Xi'an is. So kind of like locate you.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't notice that.
Because like this like we pick the station for like probably the longest, and these 2 stations have to be in 2 direction, I guess. One is Shanghai, one is Guitun.
That makes sense.
So we will say like how connected is Xi'an Zhan to a certain area.
I see.
So Xi'an, you can take train from Xi'an to like southeast of China.
And then you also, I remember, had, so this is the flower, and then I remember you also had this one, yeah, that compared, was it the number of, because 火车站日经停车次数
number of the train that stop at that station per day. So, like usually when we talk about number of the train, we'll probably come up with those train with highest speed, but not the actual count. So when we talk about train station, people might probably say like Beijing or Shanghai or something else, some major cities, but actually it's not quite a story here. In our data, like Tianjin 站 or Zhenzhou 站, it's like it's not the not the biggest city in China, but second tier.
But they have a lot of trains stopping there every day.
So it's a very busy one, and they keep growing from 2007 to within 10 years, and this one's crazy. This one's crazier.
Yeah, and I guess this means like it kind of shows you which cities have kind of grown in popularity of like people going there also. Yeah. Who was this for? Oh, this was also for QQ News.
Yeah, it's also QQ News.
And then was this also for the same Guyu?
Guyu, yeah. We work with editor at Guyu.
I see. Actually, okay, so so we were talking about how you're a studio, like way back, like 40 minutes ago. You're a studio that works frequently with newsrooms. Are you pretty unique in China, or like is there quite a few other studios doing that, or are most data visualizations within newsroom teams themselves, or?
I think the data visualization is kind of new, especially for newsroom in China. I think, but back in the States, they're sort of more familiar with data visualization skills, and also they have like specialists in the newsroom. So probably I think it's like 2014 or 2013, data journalism / data visualization become a thing, become like regularly discussed by the journalists in China. So it's been like 5 years or something. And I think we have only 2 or 3 studios make their visualization for newsroom particularly. Some are like NV or eCharts and other studio. They made data visualization for business purposes. And for those internet companies, they have their own data visualization team. They made data visualization not for storytelling purposes, but for business intelligence. So I think we're only one of the few who target journalists, like want to help them with their storytelling through data visualization or through data analysis, and to find something interesting they couldn't notice or couldn't convey with their traditional reporting skills. So,
do you think? So, actually, I want to get a little bit of a holistic understanding. So, how you said that there's an data journalism is pretty new, and so there's only 2 or 3 studios that are focused on it, and then it sounds kind of like there isn't as many like specialists in the news organizations, like journalists that are very much like kind of like in the New York Times or where you worked, or they have like now a team, or I don't know if it's a big team. Actually, no, it's a team that like is now dedicated to making visual stories. That's not as much a case in China still.
We have like 1 or 2, two data visuals, 2 data journalism team that's within the newsroom. One is called Caixin, and the other one is called Pengpai. And one is in Beijing, one is in Shanghai. I think these are the only 2 teams dedicated to data visualization for the journalism purposes. And I think other than these 2, people just like do make data visualization project whenever they need it. Like not every story is a good fit for data visualization. So, but these two teams are like dedicated to that one.
Are they newspapers called Caixin and sorry, what was it? Hongpai, or like are they teams within bigger organizations?
Well, you mean like this team are?
Sorry, you know how like you in Tencent you're working with Guyu.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like a similar thing where Caixin is actually a team within a bigger?
No, Caixin is its own publication, like New York Times or Washington Post.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know that.
No problem. Caixin and also Hongpai is a publication too.
I see, and then there's 2 or 3 studios in China that work with newsrooms, and then there's also what you said about the e-charts and the Ant-V, and they make for business purposes. But even then, it seems like 2 or 3 teams within 2 or 3 companies.
You mean like in the business world?
In the business world,
I think in the business world there are like so many.
A lot.
A lot.
Okay.
A lot.
I didn't know that.
A lot. Yeah, it's a lot. Like we also make, because our company, we also make data visualization for scholars or also like for for BI. So one of our colleagues like constantly feel like it's a field competition between us and other companies in the BI world.
I see.
So yeah, it's like, but in journalism we discuss about relatively new, but in business world they're just like a hell lot of them. They're either like data companies or they are like data visualization specialist or studio / or company. So yeah.
Do you like get together for conference, like for like conferences?
Yeah. So Alibaba made a product called what is it? Data-viz or what? I forgot the name. Like they made a dashboard particular for the business usage, and they make it very easier to gather, like to put out different charts onto one dashboard.
Oh, sorry. I mean conferences, like meetups, like events.
Oh yeah. So that's the way they gather the community. So like there are a lot of companies using their tools. They have like the annual gala thing.
Okay.
In Hangzhou.
Oh, it's in Hangzhou. Oh, because Alibaba is in Hangzhou.
Alibaba is in Hangzhou, and one of our colleagues went there. So yeah, they have like a conference things happening annually, and they have like offline meetup in Beijing too.
Oh, okay. So
quite a community.
So this one, they have meetups quite often in Beijing.
Not this two. It's another data-viz or something. The other one. It's also from under Alibaba. They have a very wide range of products.
Okay. I think it would probably take me a bit to like every time I repeat you, it's just because I'm trying to like understand. Like it's just a lot.
Yeah, like I think the first month or two I spent in Beijing, I was like bombarded with these names. Like,
when did you come back to Beijing? I'm sorry. When did you? Because you weren't here before. You were in Taiwan before.
Yeah.
When did you come to Beijing?
Last March.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's a little more than a year.
Actually, did you want to talk a little bit about did we cover a lot of the things that you wanted to?
Let me take a look.
Oh yeah, like what you think about data visualization going forward in China?
Going forward in China, I think it's getting more excited, and because like you got more and more data that's that would be in like public sector, so people can have easy access to it. And for the, I think for the internet companies, it's like some of them are seeking like collaboration between their company and newsrooms. Some of my friends who work with Ep15 is like equivalent of Uber, and in China, and they make a really cool database, database/storytelling piece, and to that one. So I'm kind of optimistic. But like I think for some data that is considered sensitive to the government, that will not appear in the upcoming future, I guess. But there's other stuff like you can still do something about it.
What kind of data is pretty easy to get your hands on? Like what kind of stuff is considered not sensitive to the government by the government?
At first, I was thinking this is not sensitive, but it becomes sensitive once it gets very popular and like people have opinion about that. I think it's like I say, like housing price. Housing price is like really chill one. And what else? Like
the slow train.
The train is like.
Yeah, what can you do with that? That's
it's just like train stations in China. So most of the project we made is for the clients, so they don't want us to make something that will be censored.
I see.
So the topic we would choose one is like really safe, but we must spend a lot of time in terms of getting the data for these two pieces. So I think one thing I want to bring up is like even there's a lot of data on the internet or you can see it I don't know, on the different websites, but you really have to like upgrade your scraping skills in order to get that. For this group project, we don't have like data set at hand when we start a project, so we started from scratch, meaning that we need to write our own scraper and to get it.
Sorry, where do you scrape? Like
this two? This one or that one? This one? We scrape from the official website of Train Bureau or something, where people can book the tickets and also check the timetable. So they don't have API for that one, so we have to scrape.
Just like a regular website scraping, and then this one. What about, you said this was provided by, this data was provided by?
It's from the real estate website.
Oh, okay.
We all scrape it. We do like it usually take like we can like propose them, we want to like collaborate with them or something, but like it's kind of take a while and it probably leads to nowhere.
I see. So you just scrape.
We just scrape.
What do you use to scrape?
Python.
Okay.
So like usually my colleague Chen will do the scraping, and this one and that one she did both. So she's after these two projects, she's kind of like scraping expert.
There's so much I want to ask because, like for example, I wanted to ask more about like what you have in your notes that you wanted to talk about, but I also want to kind of ask about like how your studio, your data-viz studio is structured. Like you said that there's maybe like 30 of you, and you're a data journalist, but there are designers, there are full stack engineers, and so your colleague does data scraping, and you do too, and the cleaning, and it seems like the roles are quite fluid. I think I've never really talked to people that are part of such a big studio. Like, I know that they exist in America, but I don't think I've ever like in depth like grilled them on their process. So I'm like really fascinated to hear kind of like how it's all structured. And where I'm coming from is that in the Bay Area, there's been like debate about like, is data visualization actually a career? Like let's say you want to be in a company and a tech company working on data visualization? Is that a career path? Like, can you have a whole team dedicated to data visualization in a company, etc.? So I'm also really curious about that.
So I think for the last question, you say whether you can dedicate yourself in the data-viz team in a like a huge company or something. I think this is true for both Alibaba and also eCharts, and also like Baidu and also like Didi. They have like a team of 20 or something, like in Didi, like dedicated to visualization all the data they have for business use. So I think that's feasible in China in the tech companies. And I think in our company, we're kind of like, just like you said, our role is kind of fluid, depends on the project we work on. And I think it really give me and my colleagues a room to like learn things along the way, along the project we've been built. So like you see the Shirley Farm projects, this one, yeah.
Let me go back to this. Yeah.
That is one we just one used QGIS a lot, but before that she's not so familiar with QGIS. So
QGIS?
Yeah, QGIS. So, but we need someone to know QGIS in order to make the map, and she has to learn it. So we often our company often hire people who can like open-minded to like different technologies
and learn quickly
and I don't know, not afraid of like trying new stuff in order to make the project come to life. So, but our company have a group of people that are like know what they really want. Like the engineers sit on the 15th floor, that are front end or full stack developers. So we have like different good mix of everything. Who are specialists, who are like journalists, and it's like when we have to work on a project, we are trying to like form a mini team within our company.
Yeah,
like
dedicated to that project.
And we'll like separate goals to like first we'll think about how quick we have to make the project. If that is a long-term project, we'll have some people probably try the thing they want to try in the project. But if that is a very urgent one, we'll use our best skill to make this project happen. So it's kind of like spontaneous. How should I say that? It's like very flexible.
Yeah, it's really great. And you said that it's only like maybe a year or two old, the studio.
I think my boss founded in 2016.
That is
2
really
years.
Young.
Yeah, it's really young.
Oh, yeah, we should probably, is that the knock to tell us?
I don't know, not with all.
Okay, so I think we should wrap up because we're pretty over time. I just have a lot of questions for you. I think that is the knock for the door. But I'll read this. And then
someone from your boss, but it's okay.
Okay. And then let me just read through this. Hugo says Xi'an Center of China. That was from a bit ago. Hello Near this says, have you looked at Flutter for building mobile apps and have you gotten an opinion on it? Flutter.
Which one? Flutter.
Flutter mobile. Flutter, beautiful native apps in record time. Oh, interesting. Google's mobile app SDK. Oh, but this is for native. So this is for developing like an actual mobile app. Whereas what you do is web pages hosted on your client's server client's web page. So it's a little bit. It seems it's not the same as what you do.
Yeah.
Okay. And It's naughty. Wait, hold on. Equation Charles says, any tips for data-viz noobs? Let me also say, we all enjoy writing XPath. Nailunia made it in time still. Hi. Hey, Nadi. Thanks for joining. And Hugo says, I once started to map all addresses which result in slower Skype connection due to Chinese censorship, but my China political sciences journalist in France declined to join the project due to political sensitivity of the data.
I got that.
Actually, should we go through your list a little bit, and then we'll probably we talked a little bit about scraping and how it's a must in China. I think from my experiences, I think I mostly use APIs, and so.
Like for Weibo, the equivalent of Twitter, and in China, they do have API, but they don't give what you want. So
I see. So in China, up your scraping skills, up your Python scraping skills. And you said 2 very separate future for data visualization outlook.
And we were talking about like biz world and sensitive data.
Ah, okay.
Oh, this one is like, we're going to talk about that too, the mobile.
Yeah.
Like, people are so crazy about it, they even name it like code H5.
What's H5?
H5, usually like, people kind of misunderstood what does it mean for HTML5. They just like, make it the abbreviation, like so H5.
So wait, HTML is already an abbreviation.
Yeah.
And then they abbreviate HTML
to H5.
H5.
Yeah, H5. And like what we made in the previous 2 work, they were called H5. H5 meaning that those web page could do work on mobile and that contains certain interactivity, they were called H5. So that our client will approach us, they will say, can you make H5? And at first I was like, what is H5? And he showed me some examples of H5. I said, okay, it's just a web page. I said, okay. But I realized that H5 pretty meaning, like you need to read it in context. Like in China, everything works in mobile. So they want to something that really perform well on mobile.
That is like my worst nightmare. If a client is like, please make our data mobile only. Like, please make the visualization mobile only. And I'll be like, I don't know. You need to find somebody else. Because I think we're still very much desktop first. Well, okay, that's not true. We tried to do mobile, and we tried to do mobile first. But I think for a lot of visualizations, it's still largely desktop. And so it amazes me what you can accomplish on mobile with visualizations.
Because like they have like very fixed mindset of H5. So like even though like we're trying to make, what should I say, like I know that very like little space of phone really gives us like a design challenge. Like how do we perform? How do we make cool database on this very tiny space? So it takes a lot of like thoughts and iteration of your design in order to like perfect it or try to amaze people with this very tiny screen.
Which is, I think, really amazing. And then, let's see. Oh, I see web-based that works on phones. Cool chat, ladies. Thank you. Equation Child says, I think PWAs will overtake mobile apps because they're so lightweight, scalable, deliverable. PWAs are also cross-platform. Are you saying, Shirley, are you saying you don't like mobile only or you don't like mobile visualizations? Oh, no. I'm just saying I'm bad at them. I'm bad at thinking about mobile. I'm bad at thinking about visualizations for mobile because it's a lot more challenging to imagine the designs of a visualization squeezed into that little bit of space. And I'm gonna start wrapping this up. So Hugo says, curious, do you have D3 or data-viz specific resources, tools that are referential for Chinese data visualization, but unknown from English web? So apparently they have these. So this thing called eCharts by tech company Baidu, and this one called G2 by Alipay, which is also another tech company. And they don't, wait, hold on. So they look more like a higher level abstraction of what D3 can do. Yeah, have we talked? I think it's been quite a long, slightly tangential, slightly like wavy path of conversation. But have we covered a decent amount of? Have we covered everything you wanted to cover?
I think so. Let me quickly. Oh yeah, there's one thing that's very interesting. I recently read through New York Times. It's about China. As like there's one data artist. He bought like people's personal data on QQ, through QQ chats. If he found an online broker and buy people's personal data such as address, sex, and phone number, and name. No. Some data artist, this one. And I searched a little bit about him. The exhibition is like way more than like what New York Times shows here. It's only a tiny bit of what he did. Like this is crazy. I want to go there, but it's banned already. But like he also once after he have like 300,000 people's data. He also have like 7 or something volunteers in the exhibition and try to like text people and call those people come to their gallery, come to the his exhibition. They have like 7 volunteers to like just texting people through the data he bought on the internet. And I don't know, like it's kind of amazed to me. It amazed me like
that. Wait, I'm amazed by the fact that you can buy
it.
Prison data.
Not prison data.
Sorry,
personal.
prison inmates.
No? Prison. Personal data.
I'm sorry. Personal data. Oh, personal data. I heard that wrong. I'm sorry. I thought you said prison data. Personal data with address and
address, phone number, and sex, and your full name.
And that I'm not as surprised about. Okay.
Yeah, but it's still like fun. Like it's a serious data privacy issue about like how the way he addressed to this problem. Like he showed people the thing he got, and you can see this light or something.
Wow.
So it's kind of fun. Like this what I'll probably recommend everyone to take a look at this one.
I feel like data privacy issues is a whole can of worms that we can talk about over dinner.
Yeah. Also, we have like one of my friends, Silva. She's really into that, so we can talk about that at dinner.
Okay. Well, this went a lot longer than I expected.
Yeah, it's almost 3:30.
Yeah, thank you so much for answering.
For having me.
No, and then thank you so much for answering all of my questions that were kind of all over the place. But I'm just like really actually, and let me also show like kind of the view from here. Oh no. Okay, so there's this is some of their previous work. Wait, I'm trying like not to be in it, and then just really quickly a sense of their previous work, which I really, really love the style of, and I wanna kind of browse through them in a little bit. But then also this pretty view. This is a very pretty view. So thank you so much for having me in your office, and And then, yeah, thank you so much.
Hey.
Yay. Okay, so we're going to go now. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for all the questions. And as always, it will be archived on YouTube if you missed it. And there's no outro, so bye-bye.
Bye.
So,